Hey everybody. So we are introducing an exciting tool called Teachable Agents, which enhances the capabilities of LLM-based assistants. As you can see, it was released on 22nd of October by senior researcher engineer at Microsoft. Right. So it allows users to teach their virtual assistants new facts, preferences, and skills. So let's dive into this fascinating technology. Conversational assistant powered by LLMs are incredibly smart, but they have limitation. They can remember the current chat but forget everything once the conversation ends. This means users often have to repeat instructions in subsequent chat, which can be frustrating. So the teachable agent addresses this limitation by creating a long-term memory implemented as a vector database. Right. So this memory is automatically saved to disk at the end of each chat and loaded at the beginning of the next conversation. So it means that they are no more starting from scratch. What's clever about a teachable agent is that it doesn't copy all the memory into the context window. Instead, it retrieves individual memories called memos. So as you can see right here, so this conserves valuable spaces and prevent redundancy. But how does Teachable Agent decide what to remember and how to store it? That's where the text analyzer agent comes in. So as you can see, it helps identify and reformulate text to ensure that facts, preferences, and skills are stored effectively. All right, so let's see some examples of the teachable agents in action. Okay, so there are some uses of that. So we have its learning user info. So it has the a user can teach the agent facts about themselves, and also the user can learn new. The user can teach the agent more complex related fact. So you can just put in complex related fact to feed the agent. All right, and the next thing is it can learn the user can teach the agent how they prefer to have things done, and it can also users can extend the teachable agent's capability by teaching them new skills for accomplishing challenging tasks. Okay, so this is an awesome tool, and we are going to look at that some example with that. So for this use cases, we are going to use local LLMs alongside with Autogen. So we are going to be using the LLM Studio. I've already showed in my previous videos how you can download this. Okay, all right. So I'm going to attach a link below so you can look at how you can install that. So in here, you can just go to type in your model. So I'm going to say for these purposes, I'm going to choose the Sapphire model. Okay, so I think it's HYR. So when I hit go, it takes me here, and there are a bunch of models from the block. Okay, so you can just type in whatever model you prefer. They are open source models. Okay, so I've already downloaded the model. I'm going to use the quantized version, that is the Q3 for this demonstration. So you can download higher versions that will give some good, accurate answers. All right, so after that is done, one thing we need to do is set up the Autogen. Okay, before we do that, when you click here, we should connect the server that is going to link up with the Autogen. All right, so let's get into the VS Code and set that up. So this is my VS Code. So in my VS Code, I already have the setup done. All right, I have the requirements. So you need to install the Pi Autogen Teachable, and we also have the code to set up the Autogen. All right, so I'm going to walk you through all that, how to do that. Okay, so we need to import. First, you also create an environment. So we say from Autogen, we import the user proxy agent. Okay, so that is the agent for the user, and that can execute code and provide feedback, all right, for other agents. And we also from Autogen agent chat, we dot teachable agents. So that's where we can import the teachable agents so that it can remember user teaching. Okay, all right. So it's just a subclass of the conversable agent that uses the vector database to remember user teaching. So everything that we feed in there is going to be stored in that database. All right. So I'm going to show you how that is done. So we need to set up the config list. And in here, I have my model. The model that I'm using is the, as you can see, the Zephyr Alpha. Okay, that's the kind of model we are using. And I have the name here. So the name of your model running and my API base. So the API base is it's nothing but the okay, so there's the link right here. Okay, so we just copy that. Just copy that. Okay, copy that and you paste it here. So it's going to connect to this server. Okay, so we're going to connect to that. And that's where the magic is going to happen. So the API type, keep it open API. And the API key is not, of course, we don't need. So it's just a placeholder. We don't need an API key because we are connecting that through our local LLM through the LLM Studio. All right. So the next thing is before we do that, so in order to connect that, we make sure that these are on. This server port is 123, as you can see here. And we make sure the cross-origin resource sharing request queuing, the server login, the automatic prompt formatting, they are all on. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to connect it. All right. Let me hit save. All right. Okay. So I'm going to connect that in a few. So let me just show you. So when I hit start, it's loading the model. All right. So as you can see, it started. So let's go back to the VSS Code. All right. So now we create a variable, call it the LLM config. We pass in the config list and the request timeout to be 120. All right. So the next thing is let's create an agent for the teachable agent. Okay. Then we call it the teachable agent. Give it a name, teachable name agent, and we pass the LLM config and the teach config. So in here, we say a reset database to be false. So when you do false, it means that we use true. So use true to false reset the memo database. So if you have to reset it a time base is closed, you can do it false and true. So if you do it false, it means that you're going to use an existing database. Okay. So it is where we are going to store every information that we have. So path to database directory. So so it can be any path you want. You can store it anywhere. It's my case. All right. So my case is going to be stored in here. So it's going to create a temp file. So everything is going to create with a database with the information that you already have in here. Okay. So this makes it so great and a great tool. So you can do a lot of things and you can always go back and refer to that. So we create a user. So the user proxy agent is going to be the human form. So I want to do it always because I want to interact, put in information that I want. So now we want to chat with the teachable agent. So this function will return once the. So what it means is that we now want to just initiate a chat. So we pass in the user and we say, hi, I'm a teachable user assistant. What's on your mind. All right. So before closing the app, so this function close the app and it stores the information in the database. Okay. So for feedbacks, so anytime you want to go back, just load it. You start asking the question on previous information. So let the teachable agent store the things that should be learned from this chat. All right. So what we want to start with is, okay, let me run the application. Make sure I'm save that. So let me run it. I'm going to say Python app.py. Okay. So we're going to start with learning user information. So I'm going to be doing some simple scenarios so we can see how it works. All right. So as you can see, you say, "Hi, I'm a teachable user assistant. What is on your mind?" Okay. So your feedback to Teachable, press enter to skip and use auto reply or type exit to end the conversation. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to start with the learning user information. So now I'm going to say, "What is my name?" I hit. Okay. So let's see Atst Run. You can see the LLM Studio is running perfectly well. Okay, so as you can see, it's working, it's working, it's working. All right, so let's go back to the code. All right, it's still running. Okay, so he says, I don't have personal information like names, but you can share with me your preferred name or the name that was previously used to interact with me in order for me to. All right, so I'm going to say, my name is Data Insight Edge, and make sure, okay, let me say it, make sure you remember next time. When I hit enter, it's up. Okay, so let's go back and see what's going on. All right, it's working, it's working. All right, okay, it says great. Thanks for sharing your name, Data Insight Edge. I will make a note of it and remember the next time. So I'm going to say, what? Okay, so what is my mother's name? Right, so let's see, starting working. Right, it's working, it's working. All right, let's go back. All right, it says, I don't have personal information about you or your family. My role is to assist you. Okay, I'm going to give it information. My mother's name is, let's say, Frida. His name is Frida. Let me hit enter. Okay, let's see. Okay, it's working, it's working. Let's see. Okay, it says, thank you for sharing that information. Okay, so it means that, let me try it one more time. My, my mother's name is Frida and don't and remember that the next time It's it. Right, let's go back. All right. Okay. It looks like it's just still referring to the data inside. Okay, so let me ask a question. What is my name and my mother's name? My name and my mother's name. Let's go back. All right. Okay, so your name is data inside Edge and your mother's name is Frida, as previously shared in our interaction. Is there? All right, so that works. That works for the agent. That works for the learner, learning user info. So you can just put in the information. Okay, so learning new facts. Okay, so let me just ask this. All right, so let me just give this information to it. Okay, so let me say, just copy all this and just define and give it information. Okay, right, you say Zephyr is a series of language models that are trained. I'm gonna hit enter. Okay, so let's wait for it. Looks like it's taking some time. So it's done. I'm not trying to act like a Zephyr model, but I can provide information about the series and the first model it is, which is called the Zephyr. Oh, okay. Okay. So it's the fine-tuned version of Mistral that was trained on publicly available. All right. That's great. So I'm going to say that is Zephyr model. I'm going to hit enter. So you can just give it information that it doesn't really know about, and it's going to store it for next future reference. Generating. Generating. All right. Right, so it's giving me that's the teachable agent to me. Zephyr is a series of language models that are designed to act. Wow, that's great. All right, so let me try. The next one is going to be for preference. Okay, for preference. So I'm going to give it this information again. So you can just give it a preference, what you want it to do. Okay, we give it a preference. I'm going to say summarize this. Hit enter. Let's wait. All right, it is working. Send ratings, a file set of tools is that. Right. Okay. All right. It's a file set of language models created to assist. Okay. It's giving me more than I thought of. Okay, cool. All right. So let me try the last one. It can learn new skills. So I'm going to put in this question. Let me uncomment this one. Comment this one. Comment this one. Let me copy this. Copy all this. Okay. Comment back. All right. Comment back. Copy all this. So I'm going to say, paste all this. Yes. Okay. So consider the identity. I'm giving it a question. Say, can you modify exactly one integer and not more than that on the left side hand side of the equation so that the right hand side will be equal to this. So I'm just giving it, I want you to learn from these new skills so that it can answer similar questions on this. All right, so let's see how it generates. Okay, so let's go back. All right, something is cooking up. Let's wait for it. It's taking a while. I have a lot on my computer. There's so much pressure on it. It's taking a while. It's working. All right. Okay. So quite a long answer. So here I'll be happy to help with this. Let me see if there's an integer we can change. If you consider the following equation where x is variable, guys, it's giving me some um, a long solution. All right. Okay. So we can solve for x by subtracting 35 from both sides of the equation. This gives us x minus 35 to 99 to. All right. I would have to sit down and calculate all this stuff, right? It's going to take some time. So, guys, I'm going to leave this for you to look at. I think this is a good tool, and I would want you to try it out and let me know what you think. Even with the Mistral, even with the lowest version of the Sapphire, I'm getting some good response. So I use the Q3. So I think it would give more accurate response if you can try with higher sizes of the model. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going. Okay. Yeah. So I think it's a very good grade too. Yeah. So I will be coming your way with more concept and more use cases, real use cases of this tool. And I hope you like this video. Don't forget to subscribe and share and see you in the next one.